Today I'm going to make over this thrift store lamp. First thing I have done is clean it, and now I'm going to paint it. I've made a spray booth out of an old cardboard box, taped up the parts I don't want to paint, and I'm going to use this rattle can black paint. Okay, this is now dry. It's had a couple of coats and it's ready to go. So I'm going to use some mica powders on this. So I've put out my selection of colours onto my palette. I'm still keeping my other bits covered, and I'm going to use a fan brush. And what I'm going to do is create the northern lights on here and very gently pull the powder up so that it mingles together. I'm actually going to just remove these bits on the bottom here. I'll be dealing with that part later on. And now I'm going to pick up some of the purple. It's good if you've got a reference photograph to look at before you do this. But if you've ever seen the Northern Lights, they have a lot of green and purple in them. So I'm adding in some purple now, and I'm also going to add in a little bit of pink. And then again, just clean off my brush. And again, sweep the powder up, leaving some black spaces in between as well. And some more pink. You can get as carried away with this as you like. There are no rules. Now I'm going to add in some yellow down at the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a horizon as though there's some mountains in the background. So I'm going to wipe away any of the mica that's fallen and just very kind of randomly make some peaks and troughs as though we're looking at a distant horizon. It can come down low. Okay, when we've decided if we're happy with that, I'm actually going to put in some more green. I don't like the fact that it's all in a straight line there. So I'm going to make this a lower point. Here's my finished lamp. The lampshade was a kind of a dull grey, so I spritzed it with water and then just tapped some of the mica powder onto it, and it's actually quite effective. And here is the base with my mountain range. I also did a little vase as well. I've given everything a coat of spray sealer that will keep all the powders in place.
Take a plain white lampshade, and we're going to turn it into a super cool anthropology style lampshade. Grab some hot glue and put a bead of glue along one side of your lampshade, and then add some twine or jute. And we're going to wrap that around the lampshade until we cover the entire thing. What's great about this project is you can use an old lampshade that you can get like from a thrift store. I happened to get one at Walmart that had a little ding and a little tear in one spot. So it was marked all the way down to like $4, which was a great deal. So one of the things I learned when I was doing this, you're going to keep wrapping it around and you're going to intermittently add glue. You don't have to do it after each strand. It's just if you notice that it's maybe coming up a little more than you'd like, you can also just keep wrapping it and then add glue afterwards. Just kind of lift it up a little and put a little bead of glue in there. And I just kept doing this until I filled the entire lampshade. After we completely filled the lampshade with the twine or jute, we are going to make tassels to hang from this. So grab a piece of cardboard, and you want it about 3.5 inches in height, and just wrap some yarn around it. I'd say about 25 times, or the thickness of a tassel that you would want. Then grab about 3 or 4 inches of your yarn and slide that through all the way to the top and make a double knot. Next, you're going to grab your scissors and you are going to cut the bottom loops And then you can take that right off of your cardboard and then trim any excess that you have that may be lingering there. Then grab about a 3-inch piece of your yarn and put that towards the top about, I'd say about 3/4 of an inch down, and make a double knot there, and that's going to make the top of your tassel. Then you're going to want to trim those little excess pieces where you made your knot. So this is the yarn version, but my favorite is to use rope, which is a soft cotton rope, and to make tassels this way. So you're going to measure the cotton rope about 10 inches, and you're just going to cut a bunch of these. Each one of these pieces is going to make 3 tassels, so I used a total of about 70 tassels, and it was for a 12-inch diameter lampshade. If you are using the cotton rope, you're going to uncoil them, and it'll make 3 tassel parts, which makes it super easy when you're making tassels. You're going to follow the same process you did on the yarn tassel, where you're going to do a double knot at the top. Take about 3 or 4 inches of yarn and put that about 3/4 of an inch down. And you see how I wrap that around a bunch of times? That's so it makes it a little more textural. And then double knot that. And then trim off the little tail ends. And then just keep making these. But first you shake it, and then you'll see how it fluffs up the tassel. Then trim off the edge. And here are the 2 different types of tassels. One is the cotton rope, and one is just using yarn. And just go to town and make as many tassels as you want. I had a latte, sat here, watched some Netflix, and made all my tassels. After you have all your tassels made, we are going to add these to the bottom of our lampshade. And I decided to hot glue these. You could use a needle and thread and tie them and sew them on the edge, but this worked out perfect. So you're going to line up your tassels, and you're going to hot glue. Just 1 little bead of glue is enough to hold it. Don't worry about the long tails. We're going to trim those at the end. And you'll notice that I don't put the top of the tassel, where I call like the little head of the tassel, all the way to the edge. It's just there's a little bit of the string hanging so that it has a little bit of movement when these are all added. And then just add all your tassels all the way around your lampshade. I love the way these look. And then using the cotton rope instead of the yarn, I think really makes it look more high-end. And just keep going, adding a little bead of glue, adding your tassels until you fill the entire lampshade. And when you finish lining your tassels, you are going to simply trim off the excess tails and just go around until you get all of those off. And then you can touch up with any hot glue if you feel that any of them are a little loose, but really 1 little dab will do it. This turned out so cute. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that this is from a Walmart lampshade. Literally looks like I got it from Anthropologie. So beautiful. And it has texture and a beachy vibe, and it's neutral but kind of high-end looking, and such an easy project. And I hope you guys are inspired to make your own. Until next time, bye.